This is exactly what I do if I had to take a listing or find my first listing, start from scratch all over again. This is the step-by-step process that I would use. So this applies to a new agent just starting. This also applies to a veteran agent who has no listing in their inventory and who needs to get one. I always say, if you want to sell a product, you can't be in business if there's nothing on the shelf. If you're a real estate agent and you don't have any listings, you're essentially out of business. Listen, we can get into the buyer thing if you'd like, but not for this video. If you're gonna sell a product, you have to have inventory on the shelf. Real estate agents, we need inventory. So this is exactly what I do. I'm assuming you're a full-time agent or want to be a full-time agent if you're watching this video. That means how many hours do we have in this first week? Remember, we're going to do everything we can to find our first listing. The answer should be 40. I don't want you working more than 40. That's how you burn out. I don't want you working less. That's how agents become part of the 87% that don't make it and fail, right? Put a good 40 hours in and then rest, recharge, get back at it next week. So we got 40 hours to work with. Listen, your start and end time, that's up to you. But put in a good 8 hours a day for 5 days, and we're going to find a listing. If you apply this to your calendar over the next 5 working days, you will take a listing. If you do not take the listing, we gave up somewhere, right? And I would love to know, by the way, if you apply this to your next 5 days, I would love to know if it worked or not. Drop it in the comments. If it didn't work, give me your honest feedback. Tell me. But the reason I'm asking you to do this is because if you do what I say here, it will 100% work. So let's break it down. You're going to start your workday somewhere between 8 and 9, hopefully. And if you're starting later and you're putting in a later 8-hour days, just shift the calendar accordingly. So we're going to spend our first 3 hours in the morning prospecting on the phone. But before we do that, we're going to pull up some good scripts. If you need scripts, drop a comment below. Put send me scripts. Happy to send you some videos on that. We're going to practice our scripts for 15 minutes before we get on the phone. If you have a family member, another real estate agent to practice with, this is great. If you don't, you can read them out loud. You can videotape yourself. You can write them down. But do something to practice the scripts. Don't just go in cold. Visualize the other person challenging you a little so that when it happens in real life, you can respond fluidly, okay? If you're not perfect, that's okay. Please don't let perfection stop you. It doesn't matter if you're choppy or not on the scripts. You need to take action. So 15 minutes of practice. I don't care if you think you're the worst real estate agent in the world. I want you to move on from that after 15 minutes because you're going to learn a lot by the real life practice, the experience. Next 3 hours, you're going to call all the new expireds, all the new FSBOs. You're going to call old expireds for the past 90 days. Okay. You're going to then move on to your database. You're going to call everyone in the database. You're going to give them an update on the real estate market. You pick. If you want an introductory script, happy to share that with you. You can give them an update on interest rates. You can check in on the town reassessments that are going on and see if they have any questions. You can give them an update on inventory or recent sales or a property that's sold in their neighborhood. Possibility is endless. If you want to dive in, have a call on some of the strategies I use when I'm trying to provide information and value on these calls, happy to do that. Just call, text, email. We get people asking questions when they watch these videos all the time. So get in there, call the database, past clients last with that script. This should bring you right around 3 hours, right? The new expireds and FSBOs are your first hour. Old expired, you can really dive into those for an hour, hour and a half, and then you can finish up for about a half hour to an hour on your database. That should be about 3 hours. You'll probably be exhausted if you don't do this daily. That's okay. We're building a muscle. Take a break. Go for a walk outside. Get some water. Get some coffee. Whatever it is you want to do. Just mentally disengage. If you're looking for your first ever listing, there's really no other tasks for you to do, right? You don't have a pending file you're babysitting. You may have some buyers that want to go look at some property, but if you're really searching for your listing, I'm going to recommend, unless you have someone that's going to buy today, I'm going to recommend you push that out of your 8-hour window and do that on the side. Pretend finding a listing is your full-time job, and like so many agents do, they work with buyers on the side. Work with buyers after your working real estate hours. Show them property after, if you have somebody serious. If they're not serious, don't show them property. Refer them to another agent if you have to. Your job is to find a listing this week, and you can't do that with a non-motivated buyer driving you all around. Right? That's one of the fastest ways you can put yourself out of business. Right? So stay on track. You're only 3 hours in. Take a good break, 15, 20 minutes. When you get back up, now we're going to mix it up, because at this point, you've worked the phone, you're in the same setting, you need a different atmosphere. Okay, so if you went 9 to 12 or 8 to 11, you took a little break, or maybe even had a little lunch. If you had lunchtime, go a little longer. If you did 9 to 12, give yourself a good hour lunch. Now we're going to get out there and door knock. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes to research. Please don't take more than that. The analysis paralysis is one of the things that slows us down. So you have a good 15 minutes to research. Find a neighborhood you want to go door knock. It could be where you live, but it should include, could be in your town, it should include a recent sale somewhere in the neighborhood you're going to pick. I'd advise picking a neighborhood where properties sell, or a neighborhood where you live, because that's, people know you. Okay? Get some information about a property that's sold. If it's your neighborhood, go door knocking up and down the streets for a good 2 hours. This is going to count as your daily exercise, so we're doing two things at once here. We're exercising our body, we're working on our business, we're going to find a listing. Okay, so if you're going in your neighborhood, knock on the door, say, "Hi, I'm Robert with Banana Realty. I'm a local realtor. I actually live in the neighborhood. And I'm just stopping by to let you know the property over on 324 Strawberry Street just closed. It was 4 beds, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet. It actually sold for $700,000. I was just wondering who you know that might be thinking about selling with so many buyers moving into our neighborhood right now." Right? Start the conversation. They might say, "So-and-so over here," or, "We've been thinking," or "Why do you ask?" Right? If you don't know what to say from there, a couple easy questions. I appreciate you thinking about it. I'm curious, when do you plan on moving? Ask them. "Oh no, we're a couple years down the road." Okay. Don't just say, "Okay, bye." Engage in some small talk. "How long have you lived there?" "I'm curious, how did you happen to buy a house in this part of town?" And then the magical question, if you were ever to move down the road, where do you think you'd go next? "Oh, Florida." "Oh, okay, now you got somebody that maybe they said no in the beginning, and now they're telling you Michigan or Florida or wherever, right? "Oh, that's exciting. When do you plan on heading down there?" "Well, we're thinking next year," right? So now all of a sudden you've either got a lead for a year from now because you've dove in a little bit, or sometimes you might find the motivation is a little more pressing and they might need to sell now. So either way, door knock for 2 hours. This is a great way to target where you're going to list, get yourself in the community, build your database, and also find listings. So door knock for 2 hours. Listen, if you're watching this video and you're in a winter state where it's cold, put on a big jacket, put on your gloves and hat. I gotta tell you, there's not a lot of things that show you're more motivated than getting out there and door knocking in the cold. Like, for all the people that don't want to sell, whatever. You're probably going to stand out to them a little bit, but it's probably not going to make a difference. If someone's thinking about selling, having somebody hungry enough motivated enough to be door knocking in the winter? I mean, it's one of the best ways to stand out. One of my first listings ever came on door knocking. So remember, we're doing whatever it takes to find a listing. So all of our actions need to go towards that, right? So now we did 3 hours on the phone in the morning, took a nice break, 2 hours of door knocking. Take another break. Make sure you get recharged now, because we're gonna finish the day strong. We've got 5 working hours in so far. Half hour to an hour of break time is 6. We're gonna put together another half hour to an hour of break time. It's gonna put us to 7. That means we have an hour, hour and a half left to our work day. We're gonna go back in the office. You're gonna get yourself a tea, a coffee, a water, a seltzer, whatever you like to drink. A nice piece of fruit, something that's a healthy snack, give you some good energy. Don't weigh yourself down here. We're gonna get back on the phones. We're gonna call the same new expireds, same new FSBOs, same old expireds. We're gonna get through as many as we can in that last hour and a half of the day. Listen, you don't have any business, you're new. There's nothing else you should be doing. Find the listing. If you do this for 5 days, you will get a listing appointment. You'll probably have multiple listing appointments. Let me know if you try this. Let me know how it went in the comments below. I would love to hear. And if you have questions, you get stuck, I'm happy to be a resource. Don't be shy. Reach out.